What's up, good people? Welcome back to Four Titles, One Truth. Hey, it's your boy Tommie here.
And I'm Lance. And today we're having a conversation that can be uncomfortable, but it's an honest one. We're asking a question that comes up a lot. Can black people be racist? And more importantly, what do we really mean when we ask that question?
There it is. This isn't about blame or defending anything or anyone. It's about understanding, accountability, and growth.
Yep.
All right, let's get into it. So, why does this question matter? And why does it trigger such a strong emotional reaction even before we try to answer it?
Because it's, yeah, I mean, because we try to get lumped in with that's a good question. I mean, it's just, I mean, because you just feel because it's hard to understand. People are racist towards, can be racist towards black people, but black people can't be racist if we, I guess, because if we disagree with anything or we want to be try to lift ourselves up,
Yeah.
then, and we're not in
Or admit
we're
we
looked at
don't
as not
trust.
including, or you don't
Yeah.
trust another race or something, then you're being racist.
Yeah.
But it's like we don't control any of the things that
Yeah. We'll
can hold
define
us
it.
back and hold us down.
Absolutely.
In order for that, it's a this is a it's a difficult topic to talk about or explain. I guess try to explain
To
because
make
it's
people
to understand.
it's difficult to make, in my opinion, it's difficult to make people who can be racist
Yeah,
understand that there
that's
is a difference. Yes.
that's good. I mean, because it's
Yeah.
like I understand
Yeah.
the difference before we even start, but actually sitting down and thinking about it and talking about this, it's like, man,
And
that's hard to
hoping
try to
people,
try to
yeah.
get people to understand. It's like, and it's not a
Yeah.
bad thing, and it's not something that a lot of folks like that are alive now really create. I mean, this stuff was created,
Yeah. The system.
the
Yeah.
system years ago. So
And yeah, so this question matters, right? And it triggers because people think racism, the definition of it is one thing, and think that they can blanket everybody with it who, if you flip a mirror, then it's the same thing.
I think it's all
That's why,
inclusive. Yeah,
absolutely.
it's not.
That's why I wanted to have a conversation about it.
All right.
And the reason it's hard to have this conversation and gather understanding is because the world is turned into a tit for tat. You know what I'm saying? So if a white person says, I don't trust black people because black people are ABCD, they think that means the same thing as if a black person says, I don't like white people because I think ABCD. It's hard for people to get out of their own way and understand that that's different. And then I think that's where we are. So
Okay. All right. Before we go any further, we
Yeah.
want to make sure
Yeah.
we're using the same language.
Yes.
All right.
So we're gonna give you some definitions, right? Racism is prejudice or discrimination backed by power and systems. That's a strong definition that you got to pay attention to. It basically means the ability to enforce those beliefs through institutional policies, institutions, or control.
Prejudice is preconceived opinion or feelings, positive or negative, about a group or person, often without direct experience.
Right. Prejudice. All right.
Yeah.
That's different than racism. That's
I
all
mean,
I'm saying.
it's absolutely different.
Now, bias is an unconscious preference or inclination that affects how we see or treat others, even when we don't realize it. Okay.
Yeah.
So bias is unconscious, meaning it's basically we inherited it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's in our mind process because of the way we grew up and where we grew up,
Yeah. Somebody told you about it, and it just kept
and it's stuck in your head.
kept
Yep.
telling you. So, internalized racism happens when people absorb negative beliefs or stereotypes about their own race and apply them to themselves or others.
Absolutely. Internalized. Yep.
Yeah.
That means just you and your people. And colorism is discrimination based on skin tone, skin color, usually favoring lighter skin over darker skin, often within the same racial group.
Those distinctions matter
Yeah.
for this conversation.
Absolutely.
So, what's the difference between racism, prejudice, and bias?
Yeah.
And do most people actually understand the difference?
So no is the quick answer
Yeah.
to do most people actually understand the difference? No. Because racism is something I highlighted the fact of it's backed by power. So
Yeah.
black people cannot be racist towards white people because the black people do not have the power and the systems and the ability to enforce those beliefs. For instance, black people just can't uh, get elected as president one day and then just start chasing other races around and kicking them, forcing them
Mm-hmm.
out of the country. Black people can't do that
No.
because we don't have the power or the
Yeah, we don't
systems
have the
to do that.
infrastructure to do any of that
Absolutely.
stuff. So,
Absolutely. All right. So, and just like what's going on now between the Republicans and the Democrats in the Senate, right, or in Congress, excuse me, neither side can really get anything done, even though uh, the the Republicans have the majority in
mm-hmm.
both sides of Congress, but they can't get anything done because the Democrats specifically don't have the power right now. They don't have the systems. And the Republicans, they have the power and the systems, but some of their people aren't supporting some of
Right.
the things that they're trying to push across the desk. That's not racism, but that's the similarity of them.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then when you talk about prejudice, black people can be.
Yes.
Prejudice it's a preconceived opinion. It's, for instance, I was raised in a black neighborhood and along other black people, right?
Yeah.
I had a pass every day
Mm-hmm.
to leave that black neighborhood and go to a all white school.
School. Mm-hmm.
And so I had something that a lot of the black people in my neighborhood didn't have, and that's access to white people. So my fears and my lack of trust were less
Right.
than the black people that didn't have the daily communication
Right.
with them.
But prejudice is more of an individual
Uh,
thing because people are going to have different levels of
Yeah, of prejudice.
prejudice.
within
Because
it.
I think
Absolutely.
that, I mean, everybody is prejudiced, and some, I
Yeah,
mean, in
there's
some way or
nothing you can
not.
do
It's just
about it.
just
No.
the level
Yeah.
of that. You know,
Yeah,
people,
it's
people
how far they
experience.
take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because prejudice is walking out of a store and seeing a black person walking towards you
Mm-hmm.
and grabbing your purse, all right, and darting to the other side of the parking lot
Yeah.
because you think black people are going to rob you.
Yeah.
That's prejudice. All right. Racism is black people don't get we get removed from the military because of our achievements
Yeah.
because we're black,
Yeah.
and
Or
they're stuck. They're labeled DEI, and they're labeled not as important
Right.
as the white successes.
or you go to get a car, finance a
Oh.
car, a house or something, and
Yeah.
your interest rate is
Yeah.
3% higher than
than the person who just bought one
person
in
who just
front
bought
of you.
one, the
Yeah.
same
And your credit's
car,
better.
same house.
Yeah.
So
And then bias is it's you what you grew up in, right? It's unconscious, and it's inclination that affects how we see or treat others, right? And that's one of those you automatically you see a black person. It's sort of like the purse, but it's a little different because you see a black person and now you assume that they're you know for a fact
right.
that black people, not every black people is going to rob you,
No.
right? But bias is you're saying all black people are not smart with money. You're saying all black people are poorly educated. You know, that's those things that you've heard your parents say over and over again, and now without you going out in the world, that's what you believe.
All black people can play basketball.
True, true. That's
not true.
hilarious.
That's not
Yeah.
true.
So though they're out there. Okay, so we've worked over the definitions, and now hopefully everybody understands what we're talking about.
Right.
So, Lance, have you ever caught yourself making assumptions about someone based on race, culture, or background, and what made you reflect on it?
Yes.
Okay.
And what made what assumptions are based on? I mean, it was race. It was probably race, and it was probably just how they were coming at me, speaking to me, talking to me. So I mean, because I guess energy, and with energy, and if somebody comes and you feel that negative, some negative energy
They're talking
already.
down to you.
Yeah, I mean, trying to make me feel like I am less than.
Yeah. What
what
you
I
are.
what I am, or trying to make me feel like I don't know something or don't understand something, and it's like,
or not as smart as them, or
Yes.
capable as them.
yeah.
Yeah.
So and instead, I mean, and I know younger, whenever I would feel that, I would get angry. I would get upset
Yep.
and react
Yeah.
how they would expect me to react.
Young Lance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would, fall into what their stereotype
So
of
they can say,
angry black man,
Yep.
is instead of
And women are getting that.
Yeah.
Black women
Oh.
get that.
yeah, still, and it's crazy.
They
Doesn't make any
stand up
sense.
for something. They're angry black women.
Yeah.
Instead of you got men on the other side of the table yelling at each other,
Yep.
and they say, "Now look at that. That's
Yep.
that bravado. That's that confidence."
And it's unfortunate that they get that from black
Yeah.
men too.
Yeah, that's
Unfortunately.
misogyny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's just like,
yeah,
that's not
yeah.
that's not the real thing.
2025, almost 2026.
I know. So it's just, trying to answer how you answer back, or how you approach. If you're trying to educate the person or something, or if you see that they're going to be receptive to listening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or if you just have to walk away, because some people they want to fight.
Yeah.
With you. So it's
Yeah, because there are still some ignorant people in the world.
I mean, it's
And
a bunch
ignorance
of
not a harsh word; it's a true word.
It's not knowing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing now that I probably have understood as I've gotten older, and where I am now is like,
Not
we just got a
everything's
bunch of ignorant people running around here. I mean, just from our elections to who's leading to just stuff
Military,
that makes
civilian.
no
Yeah.
sense. And it's
Agreed.
like, you don't have to be an expert in some of these fields to know know the difference between right and wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, because a lot of this stuff it's right and wrong,
Yeah.
and you learn that as a
Yeah.
infant.
You're born with that.
Yeah.
You just choose to overlook it, or you're raised to overlook it. So I'm gonna tell a story I haven't told only a couple people on Earth. So my first time in South Korea, I loved it. Loved the people. Loved the experience. I was in 2ID, so that wasn't my favorite thing, but it was
Right.
Army. You know what I'm saying? We was ready to go to war. That's how it was. This was 1993, 94. So when I left Korea in 94, September-ish, I absolutely would go back, absolutely loved it, and met some good people and had some good relationships. 2003 comes around. 2002, 2003 comes around. So I PCS again in 2002. Now you remember that's right after 9/11. And when I got there in 2002, at Army bases, there were up to 10,000 college students protesting the U.S. being there. And walking off base, if you were by yourself, you could get jumped. You could get stabbed. There was a colonel that got stabbed at the train station while I was there.
God, what year was this?
2002?
2002.
2003, yeah. And it was also right after a little girl got too close to an M1 while it was riding on the streets. She was playing whatever, and her hair got caught in the tracks. And yeah, I don't need to paint that picture. So there was a lot of aggression towards United States soldiers. And me, when I went back, when I was there the first time, I'd just gotten my specialist. When I went back, I was staff sergeant, about to be a staff sergeant promotable during that time. And when I left Korea the second time, I had a problem. I mean, I had a problem that I had to address. And what I mean by that is, while I was in Korea, the younger generation of Koreans who didn't remember the efforts of America to reclaim their country after North Korea had tried to basically take it over, and felt a little bit of felt pride in having America there, because there was a time when we were the first line of defense, right? So that is the love I felt the first time I was there. 10 years later, the kids are grown now, and so they don't have ties to the Korean War,
Right.
and they don't have the connection, right? So, and with the death of that little girl and 9/11, there was just so much going on politically in South Korea with the South Koreans. And going to a train, getting on a train, on a bus, just walking, you could feel the difference of the 10-year gap that I was there.
More tension.
And not just the more tension, but less of a,
happy to have
as
you
an
here.
American, but less of a, they see you less as a hero and as a friend and an ally, to where now they see you as an occupier. You see what I'm saying? And so,
and you felt that as an American, not as a black American, white American. That was just being an American.
The first time I was over there, South Koreans were fascinated with black people, to where they want to touch your skin, they want to befriend you, you know what I'm saying, try to have conversations with you. And I'm not talking about just the military of South Korea. I'm talking about everywhere we went. I went. And then that second time, you could feel a difference. It was so different that I didn't recognize it. And I was more of like I said, I was about to be selected as a senior leader. And we had elders that worked with us, and they would try to smooth that. They would try to apologize, and they would try to explain, how it's the younger generation who don't have that, whatever. And by the time I left, we got jumped, which was amazing, because I was like, really? Y'all gonna try to? It was three of us. We were walking from. It was Camp Kyle and Camp Essions, and we were walking uh, towards each other, and they were drunk. There were some drunk Koreans, and they were smaller than they are now,
Mm-hmm.
and it was fun, right? But it shouldn't have been that. It was
Right.
something that I would never expect to happen. All that to say that when I left Korea the second time, I was I didn't realize it until I got back to the States, but anytime I saw a Asian, it wasn't just South Korea, I was on alert. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't know, because if you could see how they were protesting, so the police, the police lines up on buses and they rotate out of the buses, meaning you have a shift and you stay on that bus. And to protest over there, it has to be requested, and then it's approved, and then the cops are there to make sure nothing happened.
Nothing. Okay.
And so 9/11, and the South Korean cops would get off the bus at the time the protest was going to start, and they'd have their riot gear, and they would just line up like the old uh, Roman and Greek
Mm-hmm.
and all
Making the
those
line.
fighters. Yeah,
Yeah.
they'd line up with their shield and their hats, just bunched up together, sometimes 10 rows deep, and let the protesters just protest, but they'd block the gates. And in the beginning, it'd start off no problem, but then after probably about 45 minutes or whatever, because they have schedules, then it'd start to get more energy. And then some people would just run up and try to bust through. Yeah, they would try to bust through and get to the gates. And so I had an opportunity to see that. And I just couldn't understand it, man. I was like, we were just attacked by 9/11. I'm like, it wasn't, you know, um, I didn't think we deserved that.
Right.
And so when I got back to the States, man, it was like, it was hard for me, man, because I was,
Especially you had two different experiences
yeah.
at the same
And it
place.
was
Yeah.
it was literally night and day, man. And I'm not talking about I need to feel loved.
Mm-mm.
I just need to feel like a person. And over there, I felt like the enemy.
Right.
And I'm
Well,
like,
feel safe. I mean,
yeah, I
that gets to a
didn't.
point where you
No,
start not feeling
no.
safe.
And it was, I didn't notice it until me and a friend of mine, we went to the movies, uh, and I was in line, and uh, there was a group of Asians. I'm not sure what they were because my memory's not sure, but I can tell the difference. But they were in front of us ordering this stuff, and I started to feel like, uh, starting to feel like energetic. Like what's going on?
Getting ready.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't understand what was happening. And then we went into the movies, and they were sitting not far from us, but not next to us. But they were just loud, man, and they were speaking in their language, and so it was just putting me in a bad spot. And the only person I told at that time was my sister, and I was home on leave, and I was just talking to her, and I was just like, I don't know what's happening. I was like, um, and she was the one that not diagnosed me, but she was the one that was like, yeah, well, you had a bad experience. That can change anybody's
Yeah.
personality or whatever. And I had a bad experience for a year. You know what I'm saying? I was there for a
You
year.
living it over and
Yeah.
over.
And so once I identified it, I calmed down and started to remember that not everybody's alike. Not everybody's out to get you, blah, blah,
Right.
blah. The way I was raised. And so I was able to work my way through it. And then I went to Korea two more times,
Mm-hmm.
one more time for 2 years. And it felt like the first time, so I know they're good people. I know they are people like anybody else,
Right.
and there shouldn't be a prejudice or bias because of an experience I had with them in a time where, the political and all that stuff. So it's hard to admit, but yeah, there was a time where I would have, yeah, it could have been a problem, seeing it. So, and it wasn't right for me to feel that way, and it was weird to feel that way because the way I was raised, man.
Yeah, that's why some of these questions are hard
Yeah,
to answer because it's like I don't think that
yeah,
I don't think that way, or
yeah,
I'd never even thought that way.
yeah,
It was always reacting off of
absolutely,
how somebody was coming at
absolutely.
me, coming at me, and then it being, especially being younger, it being explained
Yeah,
or something happening, and then
yeah,
hearing adults talk
yeah,
about it, and where it's
yeah,
like, okay, that's how we,
yeah,
is that how we're supposed to be? Because my friend over here didn't
yeah,
act like that,
yeah,
and they're the same,
yeah, whatever.
yeah,
Yeah,
as them. So
it's the same.
yeah,
Like for me, like my dad had that talk with me about racism. Had
oh
that
yeah,
talk to me about our history, black people versus white people, and the one thing that I know that I learned from him was you give everybody a chance till they don't deserve one.
yep,
That's what I learned from my
yep,
dad because he had friends all across the spectrum.
yep. Well, I mean that's very similar. I mean, because it's like you have good
Yeah,
black people and you have bad black
yeah.
people. You have good white people. You have, I mean, because
Every
I
race.
can
Yeah,
tell you growing up that
yeah,
it was some situations where it's like, man, I'm not going over,
yeah,
going over there in that
yeah,
area. That's crazy. I don't
yeah,
trust them, and that's people that look like me,
yeah.
you
Yeah,
know.
no,
I
hey,
mean, and it's still like that, today
my
sometimes
own
where it's like,
neighborhood.
I'm not
Yeah,
going over and
hey,
put myself in that situation because you don't know how people are going to react. So, I
you
mean,
don't know
that's
them.
more, yeah, don't know them, don't,
Yeah,
and it's just, that's with anybody. That's not
that's the time I went to.
targeting anybody, one specific race or anything like that. So,
So I was in San Diego on a military mission, and we were not far from Pendleton, and working, doing all that. And so we had a couple free days because we had been there for 40 days or whatever.
mm-hmm.
And so we was like, let's go to Compton. Now remember, I'm from Ohio, and most of the people I was with, matter of fact, all the people I was with was from the East Coast. And this was before Korea, so I was a staff sergeant. Yeah, and so we're in civilian clothes, and we're in
What colors were y'all
we're
wearing?
in well yeah we're in Army training exercise field clothes, right? So uh, that means that usually you have to bring a business with the slacks and pants and shoes and a collar polo, a polo. So that's the way we were dressed in a government van, and we're driving on our way because we was following maps back then, but on our way to Compton, right? And we're coming up, and there's a sign that says Compton. It's in the middle of the road, so there's lanes
Mm-hmm.
on both sides, and it was like it was late afternoon. The sun was going down, but it wasn't dark, right? And man, as soon as we saw the sign, we was like, oh, because once again, never been there, and you've heard all about it. Well,
Seen it
hey,
on the
hey,
movies.
Ice Cube
Yep.
talk about it all the time, and so we get close to the sign, and then all of a sudden, while we're getting close to the sign, we see a dude jumping over the backyard fences, running, right? And we're like, what in the world? And then we go past that sign, helicopter with a spotlight.
Following,
What? Chasing that junk. And then cops coming and blocking off the road where the guy was eventually going to go. You know what we did? U-turn.
I was like, I hope that was the
Oh, yeah, man.
instinct to
No,
go.
man. Hey,
Nah, we saw enough.
ain't been back since.
Mm.
I just know it was a sign. And that's a black name. That was black people being chased. And I was like, hey,
Not today.
no, nah, that ain't gonna be
Not
me,
today.
buddy. So that was the experience I had. So that was a little
Ooh.
funny little story. But yeah, man, it's it's crazy.
Yeah, that is. That's nuts. How does internalized racism or colorism show up in black communities, and why is it so hard to talk about?
Because some people act like it's not there, and then some people do, and it's there. If you're a darker skinned person, like myself, you're raised with experiences of lighter skinned people or people darker than you.
Right.
It's visible.
Well, you see those lighter skinned people,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh man, they're gonna get treated better than.
Well, and they're also at that time, because I came up in the era where darker men was still not attractive. You know what I'm saying? This is before Wesley Snipes came in and brought some equality to it. But and so growing up, like my mom is very light skinned. My dad is very dark skinned. I am literally in the middle of them. My sister is lighter skinned. So I was, on my dad's side, I was a darker skinned person. And you're not taught by anybody, but you're raised to believe that lighter skinned people are more attractive. A light skinned girl is more attractive. A light skinned guy is pretty Ricky. You know what I'm saying? Going to get all the girls. So it's in your mind. Yeah, it's in your mind, whether somebody directly taught you that or you just around. Like to this day, there's still jokes about dark skinned. I'll talk about dudes specifically. Dark skinned dudes are supposed to be harder, right? Light skinned dudes are supposed to be softer and more emotional. You know what I'm saying? It's just you see it on TikTok.
Yeah.
And I just know that to this day, with me at the age I am now, I recognize the different colors of black people. You know what I'm saying? I don't hold that against anybody, and hopefully nobody holds it against me, but I am very aware of the differences. And that's because of the history, you know what I'm saying? Because there was a time, like you said, like you pointed out before I went on, my explanation is that you got treated differently. If you're lighter skin, the lighter skin you are, the better ability you have of passing. And passing means white people assuming that you're white instead of black. And that could get you a real life, real freedom, except the fear of being found out. And there's movies about it.
Yep.
So,
well, you'll see that at HBCUs.
Oh,
I mean, that's probably when I really.
it's school days ain't no joke.
Yeah, it's the. That's the. I mean, and that's why I probably not probably, but did like learn what that was, because when I was growing up, I never.
Oh.
Because I had light skin, I had dark skin, uncles. I mean, but it wasn't. Yeah, I mean, until I got there and until I got to school.
That's crazy.
And you start seeing how different folks are treated. And then what you said earlier is like, oh, she's prettier than her, or she's more desirable than her because she's light skinned. And where it's like, oh, what are you talking? So and then you see that, especially when it comes back at you, where it's like, not really light skin, not really dark skin. You're in the middle, but it's like.
But that's the problem.
Okay.
In the summer, No, I'm just saying, in the summer, and I was always outside with the sun, so I was
Dark.
dark. Yeah, I was closer to my dad, so I was always called Milk Dud. I was always told that I'm ashy, even though I know my mom put all that daggone Vaseline and cocoa butter on me. So it was a real thing in Ohio. It was a real thing, and
Oh, I believe it.
yeah, and
I believe it. Just going back to that
yeah,
area.
yeah, it was a real thing, and it's like I said, it's hard to talk about because some black people have something against other uh, toned, color toned people, and then some black people don't, and so it's one of those
Yeah.
things to where
But I mean, and I think that's where you see the racism piece
yeah,
of it, where it's like you're not gonna sell to this person, or you're not gonna rent to
yeah,
these people because of that, or you're
yeah,
gonna give them some type of crazy
yeah.
price because
And that's where it's internal racism, but it's not full on racism because there's no group of dark or light skinned people trying to hold the other people. It's literally an individual
yeah, it's an
thing.
individual
Yeah.
thing.
So, but
Yeah.
it's even crazy to me. But I will say that I laugh at the jokes, and I do make a lot of jokes.
Yeah.
And my wife is lighter skinned.
Mine is too.
Yeah, and so I try to keep her in the sun.
Well, I
a
hear
lot.
it all the time. It's like I'm not dark,
Yeah,
by any means, but my
yeah,
kids
yeah,
and my wife, all of them are lighter than me,
yeah.
so I get,
Same.
I get that, but
Yeah.
it's okay. I take it. I like it.
Yeah. So can people? This is the question. Can people without systemic power still cause real harm through prejudice? And how do we take responsibility without erasing history?
Yes,
Easy.
yes. I mean, I think so. Just because, even if people don't have the systemic power, but if they believe in it,
Yeah.
and then their actions and how they come across, I mean, can incite that violence
Yeah.
or that ignorance,
Yeah.
that can spread, lies and confuse people. And I mean, just it can cause the turmoil and I mean, all of those things that just
That the real power can milk
right
and take
for
advantage
themselves.
of.
'Cause I
Absolutely.
think when you have that when people have that systemic power, they can manipulate things. They will manipulate things so that it benefits
Systems.
them.
Yeah, manipulate
Yeah,
systems.
so that and most of the time it's a financial thing.
100%.
I mean, so they can manipulate the thing so that it's you think that they're on your side,
Yeah.
but if you ain't in the same
Yeah.
tax bracket as them,
But
you're not
that's-
going to get anywhere close
Not
to
even that. If you're not the same color as
Color.
them, that's the thing that throws me off is when the race that's in power is clearly now. I can't even color it. What's going on now is the U.S. government that we both served more time in the military defending than outside of it, right? Is erasing the contributions and, if possible, the existence of my people, my black people, in positions of power, unless you are kissing up to them, unless you are
conforming to their beliefs.
conforming to what they say and how they are. And then the thing that throws me off is what Lance just said. They don't love you. They don't care about you. They're using you for the moment. But when it comes time to split the power at the table, you will not be seated there.
You're not going to be in the conversation.
Not in the consideration.
Yeah.
Not dang the conversation. You ain't even in the consideration to be a part of the conversation.
Yeah.
So, but to go back to the question, racism is number one because that causes the most problems. The prejudices and the biases, those are, we'll call racism the wall, and we'll call the prejudice and the biases the road bump, the speed bumps. You know what I'm saying? They may not be able to get you completely off course, but they definitely can
Yeah,
make your
they're
course
feeders.
high. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean they
Absolutely.
contribute
Absolutely.
big time.
Yeah. And it's a thing. That's all I can say. It's really a thing.
So, what responsibility do black men have to call out bias in our own spaces, especially in front of our children?
Yeah. Well, first I want to say it's everybody
Yep,
has a responsibility.
very true.
And then I want to say black people, Hispanic people, any race that's not white has a responsibility to identify it and call it out and push back against it. White people have a responsibility of understanding that everybody who is human is a person.
Right.
That's it. And you have to stop. Oh my God. I'm going to say this, all right? Because I've been wanting to say this whole episode. Christianity, right? It's not Christians against anybody. It's not that. That's not the way I was raised, and that is not the interpretation of the book that I've been forced to learn Bible verses growing up. There is compassion in Christianity. The Christianity that's in front of everybody today has no compassion for people. So if it has no compassion for people, how in the world can you support that? Because I promise you that is not in the book that I've read.
Yeah, it's very one-sided.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
very one-sided and very concrete. You know, the way that it's being presented now is very
Absolutely.
agenda-based, agenda preached.
And you know what throws me off really? The Bible originated in a certain area of the world with a certain area of people. And white Southern Christians or Baptists, whatever they are, have taken that book like it's theirs, like it was written for them and only them. You know what I'm saying? And it's being used as a weapon against other people who believe in God, who have given up have given in and given their heart and their soul over to the same Jesus that they say, but because your skin's a different color, you don't matter. And what's worse is it goes back to what Lance said before. Even the poor white people look down their nose at the different pigment colored people.
Yeah.
As if the rich white people care about them. And that blows me away.
Yeah.
But yes, pockets can cause harm, but they also don't have to cause harm. Like, for instance, the Black Panthers. The Black Panthers became enemy number one of the United States, all because they were sick of being treated like dogs. And not once was there a coup by Black Panthers. Not once did they go and charge the White House. Not once did they go and murder a bunch of white people. Not once did they do that. All they did was stand up for themselves and try to take care of their community.
Yep.
And they became public enemy number one. Martin Luther King was murdered because he was public enemy number one to the United States. Malcolm X was murdered because the United States government convinced other people who were in the same faith as him that he was a problem.
Yep.
It's just...
And you know what all of that all of those names that you just said, they were all trying to bring
That's
us together. Helping us to organize, helping to educate us to try to uplift
and stand up for
yeah.
yourself. That's it.
For things that we've been trying to, not what we, but
Yeah.
we're trying to catch up.
Yes.
Trying to catch up
Trying
and
to
get
close
to
the gap. Yeah.
that happy.
That being treated as a human and as an equal.
Mm-hmm.
That's all the push was for. That's all the push is for.
Treated as human
Treat
beings.
me like I am a human and treat me like I am equal.
Yeah.
The nurse told me that we bleed the same. You cut our organs up. He told me that the heart's in the same spot, the intestines in the same spot. They look the same. They're still all that pink color.
They are.
I just don't understand.
Yeah, I don't get it sometimes. I don't.
Ugh. But when it goes back to, like I was saying, is that it's everybody's responsibility to call it out.
Yep.
It's everybody's responsibility
you have to. You have to. Then especially, because you answered the question, I agree with you. But especially for your kids, because we're trying to teach.
Yeah, that's where I was
our
going to go
kids.
back to.
And we don't want to teach. And I know I haven't done it, and I did. My father didn't do it. My parents didn't do it with me. My family didn't do it with me. Teach them that you can love.
Don't anger.
Yeah,
Don't
you
bring
can
the
love
anger.
who you want. It doesn't have to. All of the races. And I'm not talking about being like crazy kumbaya, whatever. But it's like
they're human.
People. You can like, love, be friends with, be with whoever you with whatever race, whoever you want to be with. But with us, it's also with the caveat. You also have to look out for this because you have people out there that are not good people that are looking
good
to
intentions towards
get
you
because you want them to be safe. Because that's a lot of things. I know a lot of discussions and things like that when we talk about this with
safety.
my fathers. It was safety because
Absolutely.
he wants me to live, wants me to be alive. Yeah, wants me to be able to experience to have wanted me to be able to experience to have a family, to have kids. But to also know that everybody's not
your friend,
not your friends. And that's probably been one of the things that growing up as a parent with my kids is trying to get them to understand that because they grew up and they were like, oh, this is
they have
great.
less of the restraint.
So they didn't grow up in the same environment that I grew up in or seen a lot of the things that experiences that I had growing up.
Just like you didn't with your parents.
Absolutely didn't with them.
And that's the thing. Like his father's from Mississippi, my dad's from Troy, Alabama. Just looking at that on paper, you have to give grace to those two men because they really know what the bad side of racism can look like. Yeah. And then they both made their way up north, and now they've learned a way to live that their lens that they're looking through is it's obvious not everybody's hateful. It's obvious not everybody is out to get you or murder you or kill you and all that stuff, even though that's the same word. I don't know why I said it. But
yeah, man. Because it's like, again, what we talked about before when we answered the question at the beginning is like, it's not, when you grow up and you're not racist, it's hard to.
When you grow up and you can't be racist.
You can't be racist, because, and it's like, then all you're dealing with then is like the prejudice of certain things. But then if you can learn and you come into contact and you meet people who are.
It gets relaxed.
Yeah, more. So it's like, okay, but you still have to be on guard. It's like you still have to be on guard. Yeah. Regardless of
race
and stuff. You still feel like you have to be on guard.
Absolutely.
I should say,
especially in this world now.
Yeah. So I think what's going on now is a lot of the younger generation, like especially for my kids and stuff, they've been seeing it
Well,
and learnings
yeah,
that it's like, okay,
there is a difference.
yeah, yep. I mean,
Yeah,
so that they know. So it's
which is so sad
it is.
because
It is.
the whole point of equality was for us to get past this,
Yep.
for our kids to feel freer
Yep.
and less threatened and have a better opportunity to survive in this world. Because, like Lance said, the fight my dad had was nowhere near the fight I
Mm-mm.
had. And that was because he made sure
Yep.
and my mom made sure that my fight was different.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the other thing too, especially with some of the stuff that's going on now with the having being a father of a woman
Yeah.
is like seeing all of the strides that were being made, that that had been made for them over the years, and then seeing folks trying to turn that around, and try to make that a normal thing, or try to minimize
Push them
what
back in
their
the.
contributions can be and what they are.
How come some white women don't realize they're in the same predicament as the
I had
minorities?
no idea. I mean, and it's, I mean, and this is the thing. It's so many different shows on. Especially you can look back at period shows and see, like, he shouldn't be. This isn't 1840. He shouldn't be treating me like this or talking to me like this. I mean, because it's almost like they don't see that. It's like he's treating you as property.
That's
You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
Bottom line is, if everybody, I know for my son, we had a good relationship before around 12 years and lower. So I had plenty of time to have conversations with him. And like I said, 12 years and younger, and I'm explaining to him about racism. I'm explaining to him about how that could hurt him. And I'm also, in the same breath, explaining to him not everybody's like this, but you have to be aware. I remember that. I remember that conversation from my dad.
Yeah.
And my dad has told me about the conversation that he had, with his father. And so it's
Well, I mean, it's just that asking. I mean, I remember asking my father's like, "How did y'all deal with having like separate bathrooms or separate water faucets and stuff?" And he was, I mean, and then my father would just say, "It's like that's just the way the things
That's the
were.
same thing.
That's where
That's the same
things
thing.
were, and that's the."
Yep. And that's the thing.
So-
Also, when your parents come back and say, "Well, that was outside of the neighborhood. Inside the neighborhood, you only went to the black spots. You didn't go to the
Right.
the,
You stayed
the
in your
spot.
community.
Yeah,
You
you
really
tried to
stayed in
stay
your
away
community.
from absolutely
Yeah.
where you had black doctors, black dentists, black mechanics. So your interaction with a white person back when my mother was younger, especially up in Ohio, was when you left your neighborhood. So the way of life, like you
Yep.
said. Goodness gracious. Yeah, these conversations have to be had, man.
Well, I mean, it is. It's just. I mean, and they're good conversations to have. You want to talk about it so that more people understand what's going on and more people acknowledge it. Because I think it's some folks that don't want to acknowledge it or don't want to talk about it, and they bury it, and then when it comes up, it's like, what's going on? Come on now.
So let me ask you a question. Do you feel it is your responsibility as a black man to educate white people on reality versus these false messages that are out there?
I mean, because then now we're talking about prejudice.
Yeah.
People had their prejudice.
Racism and prejudice.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I think that if something's coming up and you're at that moment. I think it's a good. I mean, everything is a good education moment.
Yeah.
To re-educate somebody on something or to make people aware.
Yeah.
I think that you can make people aware of,
Yeah.
like, hey, that
Yeah.
I don't necessarily, I don't like that, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
tell you why.
Yeah.
Think about it,
Yeah.
for yourself, because I just laid out why that bothers me.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
you know me or you don't know me or
Yeah.
whatever should help you to understand. It's like, oh, maybe I need to rethink that,
Yeah.
or ask me a question as to, well, because a lot of times, like, well, I thought,
Yeah.
no, that's not true. Somebody lied to you,
Yeah.
or that's a misconception, or whatever. But I don't think that every time that we go out, I should be looking for a white person to go, hey,
to
let me tell you.
train.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Teach.
if it's a situation where I'm interacting with them, dealing with them, and it's some,
Or
like,
neighbors,
yeah,
friends,
or
stuff
neighbors,
like that.
friends,
Yeah.
or whatever. I mean, because especially if it's like, I like that guy. He's a good guy, whatever. Then they come and they say something crazy. You be like, hey,
Yeah.
do you understand what you just said?
Yeah.
I absolutely think it is our
Responsibility.
responsibility
Yeah.
to go, hey, man,
Yeah.
do you understand why that
Yeah.
bothers me, or why that's not
Or why that's
right?
not true.
Yeah, not true, because
Yeah.
and it's and I'm glad that you did that around me and
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
somebody else that might go, what you just
Or
say?
pop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That situation, but I mean, it's too much. This day and age is too much out there
Yeah.
that people should see,
Yeah.
that should be able to
And access.
understand. Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Information.
you don't say that's not
Yeah.
something that's
Yeah. Like there are people out there that don't know the story of Emmett Till. You know what I'm saying? There are people out there who don't know what happened in Oklahoma to Black Wall Street. There are people out there that don't know or want to believe that there are historical pictures of a black man being hung or a woman being hung, and it was a picnic.
being lit.
It was a town, it was a town thing.
Yeah.
There's people out there that don't understand that. I agree. I think that's the leader in us, all right, because that's what we do. We train and develop, right? So I think it is our responsibility to educate those that want to be educated.
Yeah.
It's not our responsibility to try to change somebody's opinion, because that the way it is now, because of this administration, people are so dug in on what they believe, right or wrong. Like you'll see some of these, like on the comedy network. You'll see people will interview people that have the Trump
Hats on.
20 Make America whatever, and they will ask them stuff like, so if you found out that Trump was in the Epstein files, would that stop you from supporting him? And they'll say no.
Yeah.
So how are you going to convince somebody that still, like for instance,
Especially when they say something about the Bible
my
or something in
gosh.
that right before. I mean, the rationale is just not. I mean, it's just such an irrational
it goes back to the Christians,
conversation
man.
that they
goes back to the Christians.
that they have. I mean, it's just
There are reverends, pastors that, because of the way I was raised, my mother used to watch them on TV. So I used to watch them on TV. And that they were a connection to the Bible that I was forced to learn, right? And yes, forced, because I was a kid going to Sunday school.
Sunday school.
So I had to learn that stuff. And on top, because I want candy, they gave you candy or stars. You know what I'm saying?
Butterscotch.
Yeah, man, or the strawberry. So there was a link there. And for me to grow up and see them not only support Trump, but to see them hold him up like he is a direct representative of what the Bible says you should be, You know how much that messes up my belief in religion?
Right. I mean that's probably the big thing is like when they want to put the Bible as first, as far as like if it's a candidate or whatever. It's like, oh, he's a good Christian person, blah blah blah, and then you see and know, and it's factual.
And
Yeah,
show you
things.
who they really are.
And then they come back and say, well, no, it was the economics.
It's always
Like,
an
no,
excuse.
but you said that
Yeah.
if he's
A
not a
good
good
Christian
Christian
man,
man,
yeah.
then how can you support him? You know, when you know that, well, they know now that he's lying about
Everything.
what he was going to do.
Everything.
Uh,
But they're still support here, and
Yeah,
I don't get that.
I mean, and it's, I mean, and most people should know that we're not. I mean, we're not going back to those times. We're not going back to those times. You know, as much as they want to do some of the things that they're doing to scare people or try to make people think that they're gonna. We're
Do
not
it.
going back
Yeah.
to the
You know
40s or
why?
50s or 60s.
But you know why? Because there's enough good people on this earth and in this country
Yes.
that eventually the sense that we thought was common takes over.
Yeah, I mean, it has to.
That's why
It has to. Yeah, it has to. 'Cause it's
self-correction.
just-
That's what we do as humans,
Yep.
self-correct. So, all right, man, I just had to ask that question.
No, yeah. Good question.
You see how hard this is for me
Mm-hmm.
because I get really energetic and I get really fired up when things that I assumed were common are not.
Yep.
And that bothers my soul because, like I said, for 25 of the 30 years I was in the military, I was a designated leader.
Yep.
And all that time, I had to make sure that everybody under my charge was capable. I didn't have time to say, because of your color, your skin, I'm not going to train you to
can
the
only do
same
this.
level.
Yeah, I mean, you don't.
I couldn't afford to do that because no matter what level leadership I was in, I was a cog
Mm-hmm.
in the big machine.
Yep.
And so I had to make sure everybody was prepared. And while I was doing that, I expected and trusted that my leaders were doing the same for me. And I found leaders that weren't doing that. I found leaders that tried to keep information from certain people. I found leaders that were obviously pro something and against something else. But I just want to say that if you're listening to this conversation, understand that asking hard questions doesn't make us weak. It makes us aware and it makes us responsible.
Yep.
The goal isn't to point fingers because I don't feel I need to point fingers because it's obvious what's going on right now.
It's the common sense factor.
Yeah.
Where it's just like,
The only thing that I should be doing now is talking with this platform and trying to get people to see there are other sides to stories. The life of a soldier in the Army is not what you see in the movies. It's not what you've heard passed down through generations. It's real life. We have the same issues and we could die fighting for our country. You know what I'm saying? So
that's the reality.
our goal is to grow and we're doing everything we can to help.
Yeah. Yeah. These conversations matter, especially when we want to lead, heal, and raise the next generation better.
Yeah.
You know.
Then that's what our charge
Yeah.
is.
I mean, we I think that's what we want to. I mean, that's what we try to do. Is like we want to make it better for the next generation than what we. Yeah. We want to fix see problems, fix problems, so that we don't have to go back and fight battles that I feel like that's what we're doing now.
I don't want anyone born after me to have to get pulled over in their car because they're black and have a gun pointed at them by a cop because the cop is more scared of the situation than I am. Even though I knew I didn't have no record, I knew I didn't just commit any offenses, but I couldn't understand why this cop had his weapon pointed at me.
Yep.
I don't think anybody born later than me should have to deal with that. And I damn sure believe that my son should never have to do that. I don't believe that my son should work his butt off and excel and then get held back just because of the color of his skin. I don't think that's fair.
Yeah, they should get the same
100%.
Opportunities
If they are
if they
succeeding.
they are capable.
Exactly.
And they are doing everything that they are supposed to do, and they are fully qualified.
Absolutely. And the last thing is, I think that my son and anybody born after me deserves to know the contributions of their race to this country that we consider great.
Yep.
Now we consider this country great based off of its potential instead of feeling it. That's where I am right now. But I will say, thank you for sticking around and joining us for this episode of 4 Titles, 1 Truth. It's one that I've wanted to talk about for a while, but I had to calm myself down so that the message could be clear. And don't forget that we're available on every major podcast platform and all social media platforms at 4 Titles, 1 Truth.
And you know y'all can watch us on YouTube.
Hey,
But in the meantime,
what you want?
join us next time
So we can what?
so we can keep the conversation going, y'all.
There, he said what he said. All right now.
All right. See y'all.
Holla.